Hey D-Way, I pray that every one of you is doing well and that all of your families are doing well. I am looking forward to the time where we can come back and gather together and hug one another and just be in the same room worshiping God together. That is going to be awesome. And speaking of that, I want to talk to you just for a couple of minutes about my strategy for us gathering together again. The first thing I want you to know is that the government will determine when we can meet together, but I will ultimately determine when I believe it is safe for us to meet together and when we should meet together. I have a responsibility to every one of you, and I have a responsibility to our God as the under shepherd of our church and as the leader of our local body. I have a responsibility to ensure that every one of you is safe. And so I have to think deep and hard about when it's best for us to come together to ensure that everyone is safe. So let me tell you kind of how I'm thinking about doing that. This past week, many of the states have begun some limited normalcy, right? They have lifted some of the stay-at-home orders in regards to businesses and things like that. And as more of that happens, I need to see the data that comes out 30 to 60 days after that is kind of in full swing. So at the end of this week, very beginning of next week, I'll begin counting down and also monitoring whether or not viral transmission is spiking in our area and what that begins to look like for us. That'll be a main consideration. So, as we return to normalcy somewhat, I'm going to be looking at 30 to 60 days, what happens in that time. If we have an uptick in the virus, then that may potentially mean that we end up, delaying gathering for a bit more. But here's one of the things I want you to consider. We have gone so far nearly 2 months without gathering together any church, yet we have still remained the church. We have still had communion. We have still had Bible study. We have still had married couples. We're still worshiping together virtually. We're still getting a word from the Lord. So all of the things that the scriptures really point to us doing together as the church, none of that has been hindered. And as long as we can continue to grow spiritually, as long as we can continue to develop spiritually, as long as we can continue to worship God together, then there is no issue with what we're currently doing. We have to recognize that our faith is strong and we need to trust and believe in God, but you do not separate faith and wisdom. If you have a highly contagious, communicable virus that is spreading fast, you don't gather in large groups. That's just wisdom. And you couple that wisdom with our faith, believing that God will continue to keep us safe. So we're going to continue to be safe. We'll continue to do what we do now, what we're doing now. Many of you have continued to be so faithful. It has been amazing, not just faithful in your giving, and many of you have continued to be faithful in giving, but you have continued to be faithful in looking out for one another, encouraging one another, loving one another, connecting together on prayer and Bible study and married couples, all of that. And it has been amazing to see it. So we'll continue to be faithful as we continue to be safe. And I will be looking over the next 30 and 60 days at whether or not gathering together is a possibility. I tell you, I look forward to it. I want nothing more than to be able to have us gather together again, than to be able to just lift our hands and our voices in one accord to our God again. I can't wait to be able to hug every single one of you again. I'm telling you, like literally our first service of gathering may just be a hugging service. I don't know, but depending on what's happening. But really, I need you to know that your safety is my first and primary concern. That is the only concern that I have, the safety of every single member of our church. So I need you to understand that this is really going to be the gauge and the guide for us coming back together. I will continue to keep you updated as we go forward. Please make sure that you watch these videos, encourage others to watch them, and make sure that you're engaged on Flock, because a lot of the information that we give that's important we give via flock. And really quickly, I know that there are some people who are still thinking about baptism. I got a message this weekend from a young lady looking to be baptized. I know I was saying, all right, look, we're doing everything as we normally do, but baptism is the only thing I have not figured out a way that we can do in a way that's safe. So Asia, I know you're waiting to be baptized. I know that Corey, Haley, Cooper, and family, you're looking to get baptized. If I can think of a way for us to do that safely in the situation, in the circumstance that we're in, I'll do it. I haven't thought of a way. I've been thinking about it though, but I want you to rest assured that if we cannot think of a way during this time, when it's over, baptism will be a top priority. So I will see you all this Sunday for prayer, and then our word service streaming virtually at 10:30. Don't forget, I'm so excited that this weekend, Pastor Phil and I are starting this series where we're preaching from the same text. And so I'm encouraging all of our D-Wayers to watch Victory Church ATL service. Pastor Phil is encouraging all the Victors to watch our streaming service at 10:30. And we're going to watch together because we're going to be preaching this series together because there's something that the Lord has said that we believe is a prophetic word for both of our churches. And I'm excited about this series starting this Sunday. So I'll see you all Sunday for prayer and as we worship together online. Take care. I love you guys. God bless you.